We're live. Hey everyone. I'm just gonna make sure I have the video muted because in the midst of celebrating our second year on YouTube would be the night that I make all of the amateur mistakes that I tend to still make. Pete is in the house. Evening all. Happy YouTube anniversary. Thank you so much. And today is actually the anniversary. I don't want to start talking too much until some more folks come in and we get everyone in here. Let me refresh my screen. 8 people watching so far. So we'll just wait a couple minutes. Hey Greg. Hey Thompson. Richard's here. Chad is here for a bit. Stark Raven Wild. Victoria says hi from very wet, rainy Georgia. Do you guys know? Hi, Tammy. Oh, Bill and David are here. Last Saturday, it was 71 degrees here in Pittsburgh. 71 degrees. And now it's like 19 and wants to snow again. Crazy, crazy stuff. Jamie gets nothing for free. Mods are not allowed to enter the contest. Nurse Flipper, Daniela, Debbie, Rhonda, and Emilian. Hello, welcome in, welcome in. So you guys, today is actually our anniversary. Officially the 14th. January 14th, 2018 was the first video that we ever did. We were snowed in. And I had been saying for a long time I was going to start a YouTube channel. I never did it, never wanted to do it. I wanted to do it, but I kept putting it off. Making the first video is always the hardest part. And we ended up getting snowed in, and we couldn't get out to go sourcing or anywhere else. And Keith's like, well, let's just film it today. And so we did. Please don't watch it. It's the Beanie Baby video. It's terrible. It's cringy. It's awful. But 2 years ago, exactly to the date on the 14th, today was when we put up our first YouTube video. Welcome in, Colleen. Richard. Jamie gets... I'm going to out Jamie right now for everybody listening. My moderators typically get guides for free, just for all of the help that they give us. And all of the things that they do for us behind the scenes. They typically get all of our guides and stuff for free. So there's no need to enter the contest or to pretend like you don't get anything for free. Thank you so much, Lori. That's very, very sweet of you. Thank you. Christian's here. Thanks, Chad. Bearded Resellers here. New to the channel. Welcome in. Congrats. Thanks a lot. My microphone is no further away from me than it normally is. I can move it, but now you're going to see part of it. Whoop. Thanks, Bill and David. All right, Jamie says I don't do anything. Okay, so wait, I got lots of notes tonight. All right, before we get into, thank you, Delia's Vintage. Before we get into the whole, yay, it's our anniversary and we're giving out stuff for free. Woo, I had to censor myself. I forgot I was on YouTube. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kind of out of it tonight. But before we get into the whole, we're giving away stuff for free and we're going to celebrate, and we dropped a new guide today. Let's talk about something, that everyone needs to hear. There's going to be some things I'm going to say tonight that you guys aren't going to want to hear. And I'm doing that on purpose because this channel has gotten to be known, I feel like, for the honesty and the transparency I bring to the reselling community, the reality of reselling, behind the scenes. I don't try to sugarcoat anything for you guys. I tell you how it is. I tell you the reality, and I dish out a lot of tough love. And so on our anniversary, that's what it's going to be all about. Reselling is changing. It is 2020. the world is changing, people are changing, reselling is changing. And if you don't adapt to those changes, if you don't change yourself in your own reselling business model to adapt to the changes, you're not going to make it. You're not. If the whole world around you changes and you don't change your business to adapt to the way buyers are and platforms are and the way to make money, you're not going to make it. You have to learn how to adjust with the changes. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about some of these reselling changes that are happening now, that will be happening soon, we're in a whole nother decade, guys. Some of these changes have been coming on for a long time, I feel like. And it's a whole new decade. It's 2020. So here's one of the things. You guys need to stop racing to the bottom. Because if everyone continues to race to the bottom and just keeps going for that fast nickel, not only will you run yourself out of business, you're going to destroy the market and run everyone else out of business right along with you. And for those of you that like doing this full time and don't like working for the man and don't like getting up every morning at some predetermined time by somebody else and taking part in a commute that just sucks on a freeway, you better start raising your prices. I've been doing a lot of store reviews, a lot. I gave a bunch away for free, but a lot of you have been purchasing them. And I've done probably since like the week before Christmas, probably like 100, I think. It's a lot. And for the most part, I think that when I look at the stores and do the reviews for long-time viewers and people that I know that are part of our Facebook group and that have been viewing this channel for a long time, their prices are great. It's like, yes, they get it. But then people who might be newer to the channel, those are the folks that I'm telling, oh my God, your prices, you need to raise them. Raise them. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that when we get into talking a little bit about saturation and clothing towards the end of this. But if you want to continue to have reselling as a viable business, not only for yourself, but for the community, for all of us to be able to continue this as a business, if you want to continue watching folks on YouTube and being part of the reselling groups, you've got to stop trying to trash the market and bring us all down. Because what will eventually happen is every single thing that was ever worth some money won't be. And nobody will be making any money. And everyone's going to have to go out of business. And I guess some of us that are stubborn like me would stay around and suddenly start making money. But who wants to be making money just because you know everyone else had to quit? So stop racing to the bottom. Stop it with your fast nickels. It's one of my soapboxes, and I know that there's a lot of people out there that like their fast nickels, and they have that saying. What is it that they say? I'm not in the business of storage. I'm in the business of selling. Well, guess what? If you sell used clothing or you sell plush, you are in the business of storage. Bottom line, end of story, period. You're not going to change my mind. We just dropped our new 2020 clothing guide this year. This is the second clothing guide that we have done together, Keith and I. We did one in 2019. We did one this year. And the true heart of the matter, the true facts about clothing, when you do the research and you look at the sell-through rates on all these different brands, whether it's used or new with tags, at the end of the day, over half of all clothing takes 3 to 6 months to sell. 3 to 6 months. So if you think that you're going to sell clothing and you're not going to be in the business of storage, I have another thing coming for you. Clothes takes 3 to 6 months to sell. Period. So even if you have the best stuff, you're at least going to be sitting on it for 3 months. So why the hell are you racing to the bottom and trashing the market? Let me look through the comments real quick. Greg, Macari's poop still. I'll just be honest with you. I haven't really been diligent with Macari. I've been putting like 5 things a day on Macari, all Plush, just moving Plush over. And we've sold 1. So, hey Fern, welcome in. Thank you so much. Yeah, Nurse Flipper has a good idea. That's something that I do. I know that's something that Jamie Pace does as well, where you find the people who are racing to the bottom, buy them out, and then resell it yourself, online arbitrage. So that is something you can do. I wouldn't close your store to do things because you're not making any money while it's closed. You can change things a little bit every single day while you're still making sales. Bearded Rare Seller says, I'm about to saturate with my death piles. That's okay though. Saturation is okay. That's the thing. People don't understand that saturation isn't a bad thing. Saturation's not a bad thing. More and more people are shopping online now than ever before. More and more people are getting on this sustainability, buying used clothing. I don't want to call it like a train or a boat because it's not. I don't think it's a fad. I think it's something that's here to stay. The world is changing. That's what I said at the beginning. It's 2020 and the world is changing. The mindsets of people are changing. The millennials are online more than the boomers. And the millennials have that mindset. And I'm not a millennial or a boomer, guys. I'm a Gen X, I think that's what we're called. But what my point is the people younger than me that are coming up to take over the world are on this new world. Everybody wants sustainability. Everybody wants things out of the dumps. What do you call those? The trash piles, the dumps, the compost, whatever. They want to reuse, reduce, recycle. Vintage clothing is super duper in right now. Vintage clothing is really fashionable. Their used clothing is becoming something of a cool thing. Like when I was a kid, if you when I was a kid, if you shopped at the thrift store, or thropped there, I guess, people would make fun of you and call you poor and like, what's wrong with your parents? But nowadays when people shop at thrift stores, they're cool. Like you just found some 80s mom jeans and a vintage dress and everybody's like, oh, you're so neat, you're so cool. And then it's sustainability and all of this stuff and the whole world is just changing. And thank you so much for the $5 super chat, Nurse Flipper. She says, you are so right about everything you're saying. Totally agree. Thanks for saying it. Happy anniversary. Thank you so much for the $5 and for helping us feed a hungry hippo. You'll see your dancing hippo come across the screen. Let me see what I got coming in as far as comments. Richard Davis, semi-new to your channel. Great info. Thank you so much. Dominic is in the house. Thank you, Dominic, for the 2-year anniversary wishes. I love it. Say boomer to Casey. I do. I say okay boomer to Casey all the time. And I'm, in fact, older than Casey, so it's pretty funny. But I'm not a boomer. I'm just trying to say that as we roll into 2020, people are just, the whole mindset of the world is different. The political climate is different. The mindset is different. The world is different. And more people are starting to shop online and shop used. So the fact that saturation is bad, it's not. If there's more clothing online and more choices online of used clothing, that's okay because more and more people are looking for that. More and more people are shopping online for used clothing. The only bad part about the saturation is when people start to undercut each other and do that whole fast nickel race to the bottom. And I can tell you, in the last 3 years, I have seen a lot of very profitable brands get trashed. And I'm going to call it getting trashed, period. There's no reason why a brand of jeans like Lucky Brand that sells new in the mall for $150 is selling for $18 to $20 used on eBay. Absolutely no reason for that. They should be half. They should be like $70 used. online. Of course, thrift stores are going to be a little bit cheaper, a little bit different of a story. But when people shop online, you're paying for shipping, you're paying for convenience, you're paying for the delivery straight to your door. People will pay more online. And I personally, when I started, Lucky Brand still wasn't quite what it should be, but they sold for around 40 or 50 when I started, and I used to source them all the time. And now you can't give them away. And it's because everybody has to come in under each other. So if I was selling my Lucky Brands back in the day for 50, somebody would be like, well, I'm going to sell mine for 48, and then 46 and 44, and so on it goes. And that's why I talk about this so often, and I get up on my soapbox so much with you guys, because when you're only undercutting by $1 or $2, you think you're not doing anything wrong. You think it's okay. But the next person goes $1 or $2 under you, and the next person goes $1 or $2 under them, and that is the race to the bottom. The next person consistently goes under the person above them until you have that race to the bottom. So what you think you're doing by $1 isn't bad. Technically, you're contributing to the problem. Yeah, and that's something else. All things Sorindo is absolutely right. Sorinzo, sorry, I can't talk tonight if you couldn't tell. I'm just tripping all over my own tongue. The fast nickel... Okay, that's not what I was trying to say. Sorry. So, Goodwill, Savers, Save a Lot, Salvation Army. There's, I can't think of the other one, the big one. But there's all the big thrift stores are raising their prices lately. And guess what? If you don't raise your prices too, that's another thing. You're going to go out of business. That is another thing that's changing right now. Thrift stores have caught on to the fact that kids these days, people in their 30s and younger, thrift stores have caught on to the fact that all of these people want sustainability and they want their used clothing and they want to go to thrift stores and this is the hip thing to do and everybody's looking for vintage. And so they're going to raise their prices. So if you don't raise your prices or at least hold steady at what things are worth, you're not going to make enough money. Period. I used Lucky Brand as an example, but I could literally sit here for the remaining 45 minutes of my show and do nothing but list off brands, items, types of clothing, hard goods, and plush that I have seen literally destroyed in the past few years. And while resellers are on eBay trashing the market and racing to the bottom, the places that we source these items from continue to raise the prices, and no one can make a living. And unfortunately, what is going to happen is people who can't figure this out, people who don't realize that you have to have competitive prices and high pricing to make it, those people are going to go out of business. And the rest of us that actually know what we're doing and how to run a business, we'll be left and we'll be okay because we'll start making more money because we'll have less competition. But the people that say they're not, back to that, they're not in the business of storage. Yeah, you are. Plush is super long tail and takes forever to sell. Clothing takes forever to sell. Price your items right along with everyone else, Daniela. You don't have to price your items low just because you don't have feedback. Why would you? I've always priced high. Even when we had zero feedback, I price high. And we do fine. So, damn kids. But yeah, you're going to have to hold on to some things and wait for them to sell. That's just the thing. Here's one thing else I would like to tell people. You're in the business of running a business. You're not in the business of running a charity. So think about that. Don't listen to the sob stories. You don't have to accept the lowball offers. I don't listen to any of that and I don't care. And in real life, outside of business, I'm a pretty nice person. My friends can attest to that. I'm a very caring, kind, loving person. But when it comes to business, I don't care if 10 of your dogs died of eating grass cancer and you lost your car and you have no job. I don't care. Your sob story does not get read by me, does not affect me. I don't listen to it. chances are 9 times out of 10 it's somebody that's lying anyway to try to get something for free or cheap. But you guys got to stop listening to people's sob stories and accepting best offers that are too low because somebody tells you that we've all been hard. Okay, here's the thing. We've all been down on our luck and we've all had hard times. And I'm disabled. I can't even work outside of my house. But with Keith, together, we have built a reselling business that is viable and sustainable and pays our bills. And this is my full-time job and I don't have disability and I'm not on any kind of help from the county. I 1000% said, look, if I'm disabled and I can't work, I'm going to build my business. So anyone can do it. Anyone can do it. Yes, Thrifty Space Queen, I'm getting to that point in just a minute. So when other people tell me their sad stories, I don't care. If my friends have sad stories outside of business, I care about my friends. But in business, I don't care because guess what? There's a cost of goods associated with that item. There was probably gas money associated with that item. Time, which is money, was put into that item as far as finding it, sourcing it, paying for it, photographing it, measuring it, listing it, storing it. And at the end of the day, you're not just looking to make money on an item. You are not just looking to cover your cost of goods. You are trying to run a business, and I want people to try to understand that. You are trying to run a business. If you bought a pair of jeans for $1, don't have that mindset of, oh, well, I only paid $1. It doesn't matter. Everyone else is listing them for $40, but because I only paid $1, I'll list mine for $20 because I want my money back faster. Okay, good for you. The fact that you can source it cheaper than the rest of us should allow you to make more money than the rest of us. You should literally be making more money than all of us. But at the end of the day, you're not just looking to cover your cost of goods. You've got overhead, you've got gas money, you've got car stuff, the stuff that's associated with keeping up a car. Your gas money, your internet bills, your phone bills, buying the next best phone so you have better photographs for your business, all of your fees, your shipping, all of the things you're paying for, like GoDaddy bookkeeping, QuickBooks, List Perfectly. All of these things add up. And thank you so much for the super chat, Pete. $10 super chat. Wow, that is just like so awesome. Thank you so much. I did a review for Pete as well, and that was one of the things, so I'm glad that's working out for you. So when you're pricing your items, just remember, and I've said this to you guys before, your time is worth a lot. I work for myself and not someone else. So I'm worth more than $20 an hour. What are you worth? I'm worth more than $20 an hour. I'll tell you that right now. I'm not working for minimum wage. I'm not working for $10. I'm not working for $12. I am worth a lot of money, and I put that value into every single thing I do. I got hurt at my last job. I was a caregiver, Achilles, and still in the middle of suing my employer, so I can't really talk about it too much, but most people know that I got hurt at work. I was a caregiver, like a hands-on. I took care of other people with disabilities, and I now live with debilitating chronic back pain and very limited on my abilities of what I can do, but I have figured out ways to do things so that I can do them. That doesn't make sense. I figured out ways to do things so I can do them. But I have videos about it and stuff, like how we have set up this room. I do everything in rolly chairs. I do everything sitting down. And I've made a way in the world. All right. Let's move on. So, self-value. Think about what you're worth. Think about, hi Candace, welcome in. Think about what you're worth. Think about how much money you want to make. I mean, just because you source things cheaper doesn't mean you should sell them cheaper than anyone else. You should be celebrating the fact that your cost of goods is lower and that you make more money. You've got a lot of things to pay for other than the items that you paid for. You are paying, think about all the things that you need to run your business, all the programs, the fees, the shipping, all of it. Yeah, I found that too, all things Sorenzo. They'll be like, well, this is my last offer. I found it cheaper elsewhere. And I just respond nicely. If you really found it somewhere else cheaper, go buy it. And they always come back. So, all right, something else that's changing in 2020 that happens every single year, no surprise, postal rates are increasing. We as sellers have to account for that, right? So if you're already charging shipping to your, if you don't do free shipping and you do calculated, you're covered. But if you do flat rate shipping to your buyers, you need to raise that up a little bit to account for the postal races. They're racing. The post office is racing to the top of their price increases. But yeah, they're going to be increasing their prices. So if you charge $8 for a padded flat, you may want to start charging $8.25 or $8.50. If you're doing calculated, you're fine. And if you do free shipping, you're going to have to raise your prices a little bit to help you pay for the shipping, because free shipping is never really free. It's built into the price. So, yeah, Sorenzo, nobody really lets you call for a price break. Typically, most of us go into something knowing what it's going to cost. We agree to that cost and everything else included. If you get cable package and you know that you're going to pay X amount for the Supreme channels, premium channels, not Supreme, and your internet, you can't call the cable company next month and go, but I want $10 off because HBO's on there. You knew what you were getting when you got it. When you go to Walmart, you know what you're getting. When you get up to the cash register, you can't ask for a discount. So keep that in mind too. But your shipping, what you pay for shipping is going to go up. So whether you charge your buyers or this piece of hair, I'm going to shave my head. Build that into your prices. And another thing that's changing as we go onward into the new decade, I feel, yeah, $1 is good. I'm sorry, I got distracted by my chat. $1 is perfect, bearded reseller. That's exactly what Keith and I did last year. We just raised all of our prices up by $1. So bread and butter jeans that I would normally charge $24 in 2018 were $21 in 2019, and they'll be going up to $22 this year to accommodate for that. Richard, I wouldn't really. I'm not going to pull a Britney Spears circa 2007. Yeah, you pay for all of these things. Your supplies, your list perfectly's, your QuickBooks, all of those things. All right, so we're going to move on to the next point. And I think a lot of us learned this lesson pretty hardcore in Q4. We can't rely solely on eBay. And we've been diversified for years now. But I tell you guys this all the time. Please don't put all your eggs in one basket. Please don't have only one stream of income. Please don't rely only on one place. Oh, your name is Keith too? Keith is my business and life partner. Yeah, and the taxes. So, taxes are going up as well. We'll get right back to the whole diversifying thing because I meant to mention taxes when I mentioned postage. Something buyers had to get used to last year was when they started charging sales tax for the online sales. And some buyers would send us messages or offers and ask us to lower our prices to help them pay for the taxes. And I mean, we were nice and professional about it, but basically said we have no control over the federal government and what they charge for their taxes, and we can't drop our prices to accommodate that. Guys, say hi to Keith. He just snuck by in the back. So we were just and I do the same thing with shipping. When someone says, can you drop this by X amount, because I'm paying shipping, because we do charge shipping on our hard goods, heavier items over a pound. I always tell people the calculated shipping is based on how much the item weighs, how far it is shipping. It is regulated by the USPS, and we have no say on that. We don't set that price, and that is what it is, and it's a separate entity, a separate charge away from what our item is worth. And you can tell people that with taxes as well, that you're not the federal government and you don't set the taxes, and you can't drop your prices because they're not paying sales tax. Buyers had to adjust to that, so they will adjust to higher prices when shipping goes up. It's just the way of the world. Let me hit some comments real quick. You don't need List Perfectly, QuickBooks, or GoDaddy. They just are tools that will sincerely help you. List Perfectly really helps with cross-posting and being on multiple platforms. And unless you want to do all of your accounting by yourself, GoDaddy or QuickBooks is really helpful. All right, so eBay. We all found out in Q4 we can't rely solely on eBay. And here's my honest to goodness opinion, and you can say I have a tinfoil hat on my head or whatever, but my honest opinion is that whatever glitches happened on October 15th last year, when eBay put in all the new item specifics and completely glitched out, broke eBay, effed everything up, screwed everything up, especially for used clothing sellers. I don't think it's fixed. I think it messed up the algorithm, and there was a lot of people in October, November saying when you searched for items, you couldn't find them anymore. I think all of that is still screwed up. And if anybody from eBay is listening, prove me wrong. Change my mind, because I think the algorithm got screwed up, and I don't think it's been fixed yet. And I say this with a lot of research behind me. I have a lot of friends that are used clothing resellers. We're used clothing resellers, and no one has recovered since October 15th. No one has been selling what they should be. Q4 was a complete and total bust, and we're still not back to where we should be. We are selling less than 0.5% sell-through rate on our clothing, which was something that we did for years. For 3 years, we held fast at 0.5 or higher percent sell-through rate on our clothing. It has been below that since October. Our remotes are at 1 to 2%. Our Plush is about 0.5% or just a little bit below, which is where Plush should be. The clothing, not so much. And we're a little frustrated because we went in on this wholesale of 3,000 remotes because we thought, oh, this will be extra sales for us. So in addition to the 10 items a day that we normally sell, because we have just over 2,000 listings, we thought in addition to the 10 items of clothing and Plush, we would be selling 6 to 10 remotes. Well, what ended up happening was I'm still selling, 1 or 2 Plush a day, 6 to 7, sometimes 10 remotes a day, and no clothing. So basically what the remotes ended up doing was replacing the clothing and pulling us along instead of being an addition. And most of the clothing that we sell is now on other platforms, or wholesale or whatever. It's just not, I just don't think it's recovered, and I don't think that we should all rely on eBay anymore. So you got to put your eggs in other baskets. Okay, bye, bearded reseller, who's also Keith. Thank you for stopping in. Enjoy your dinner. So make sure you're diversifying. This is something you're going to have to do as a reseller. If you want to continue to have a reselling business moving forward, you cannot rely on just one platform. And this goes for people who also only do Poshmark. You might want to go put some stuff on eBay. Just make sure that you're on as many platforms as you can personally handle. Stay on top of what inventory is listed where, so you're not double selling. Make sure that you have a system in place that works for you, so you know where things are listed, and if it sells here, you can take it down here. Be organized about it. Don't just go, oh my God, stars to diversify, and start putting all your stuff everywhere and then ending up double selling and making mistakes. Be organized about it. Only do what you can handle every day. Do your to-do lists and stuff like that I'm always telling you guys about. Let's talk a little bit more about clothing being oversaturated. It is. Clothing is seriously oversaturated, but I think the bigger problem with it is not so much how much there is, it's how many people are doing that race to the bottom and the fast nickel. So Keith and I just dropped our 2020 clothing guide today, and when we were updating it from the 2019 clothing guide to this one, so much stuff, you guys. So if you're familiar with the 2019 guide, the 2020 is the same guide, except it's updated. So they're the same, except with updated information that's pertinent to right now. The guide has 195 brands and types of clothing on it, and then it's broken down into used and new. So it would have PKE men's jeans, new and used. And then it gives you the average sale price for used, the average sale price for new, the sell-through rate for each, and then your target buy price to double your profit. So the target buy price on the guide does consider have worked into the formula shipping, and it doubles your cost based on the target price and the average sell price. So when we were updating the information to make it current for 2020, last year, I really need a drink. I'm so sorry. My throat is so dry. All right. So the guide is color-coded as well. So if it has a really slow sell-through rate, 9 months or longer to sell, it's red. If it takes 3 to 6 months to sell, it's yellow. And anything faster than 3 months is highlighted in green. And most stuff falls in yellow. It's just how it is. You guys have heard me talk about this for a whole entire year, ever since we did the first guide and we sat down and did all the research for it. The majority of clothing, used and new, falls in the middle and takes 3 to 6 months to sell on average. That's not to say you're not going to list a size 16 Torrid jeans at the right exact moment when somebody's looking for them and sell them overnight. It does happen. Things sometimes sell really fast if you're in the right place at the right time and you happen to list something right when someone's looking for it. But on average, most clothes take 3 to 6 months. But as we were updating the guide, a lot of the yellow stuff from last year dropped down to red, and a lot of the green stuff dropped down to yellow. Some stuff actually moved up. And I have a theory about that. I think when like a brand drops, like if it gets harder to sell or slower to sell or the prices on it start dropping, a lot of resellers stop sourcing that brand and listing that brand. And so then it goes back up because less people are selling it. You guys following? So some of the stuff, hey Kathy, welcome in. Some of the stuff actually moved up. Some of the brands or the types of clothing on the guide got faster and their average sale price actually went up. A lot of the stuff got slower. Even if the average price stayed the same, some of it got slower. So that tells us that there's more people selling clothing, which is okay. But the prices that were dropping was like, are you kidding me? Like, I have a really dry spot and I feel like I'm really going to cough really loud on you guys. Hold on. My mic. Now my mic won't come back on. I did not want to hack into the microphone. Sorry, guys. Let me get more water. So, more people online selling clothing doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. Because there's more people online buying clothing, to be honest. Just stop dropping the prices. I can't stay on that soapbox screaming at you guys all night, but you guys know how I feel. All right, so we did notice that a lot of things are slower to sell and the prices dropped on some, but some went up. So it's not necessarily like an even trade, but it's not like dire. It's not the end of the world. Clothing is still a very viable thing to resell on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Bonanza, Depop. I could go on all night. All the places you should be diversifying to. Clothing is absolutely still viable. Why? Because clothing is easy to find. Anybody at any time, no matter where they live, can go out and thrift use clothing, bring it home, and resell it. It is super easy to find, but it's also super easy to find really cheap. And the return on investment on clothing when you're first getting started is really, really good for you to turn around back into more inventory to build your business. You guys know, and I've told the story before, but if you're new to the channel, you haven't heard it. Keith started this on his own back when I still worked outside of the home before I hurt myself at work. And he started by selling his own stuff from around the house, took his first $20 to the bins, got like 20 pounds of clothing, took the profits from that, bought another 20 pounds, so on and so forth, until we're dropping $1,600 at a time on wholesale electronics, and we're into cell phones and stuff. So clothing is absolutely very viable to get your start and to take small amounts of money and turn it into bigger ones and just consistently keep turning that over. Clothing is so easy to find. The trick is, as it gets more oversaturated, is to become more educated and do more research on it, to know your brands, to know what you're looking for, to know what has the highest sell-through rates and the highest average sale prices. One way to do that is to get our guide, or you can always do the research yourself, you guys. I mean, everything is free. It's just the information in our guide is about 18 hours of work between two people. So if you want to sit by yourself for 36 hours and do all the research on Terapeak and Sellhound and eBay and compile a spreadsheet over 36 hours with all of this information in it that you can arm yourself with when you go to the store, you can do that, or you can pay $19.99 and get it already done for you from us and have it. But either way, you need to have that information and that education. You need to know what you're looking for, because that will change from year to year. What sold slowly last year could possibly sell more quickly this year because less people are selling it, because when it dropped down in value, less people sourced it. What was a good seller last year could be a bad seller this year because more people were getting it last year because it was a good seller. I'm going to take a moment to read the chat. Yeah, stop making minimum wage, people. You guys are worth more than $10, $20 an hour. The glitches are definitely weeding people out who are in this. People will weed themselves out, and I think I said that at the beginning, and I don't mean it to be mean, but if you're going to constantly race to the bottom and not charge what things are worth, eventually you're going to run yourself out of business, and you're going to be back to working outside of the home for someone else, and you're going to be lining someone else's pockets and making money for someone else's dreams instead of your own. It's just how it is, because you're not just looking to replace the money you spend thrifting. You're looking to pay your bills. You're looking to upgrade. You're looking to get bigger and better and diversify. And if you don't sell your clothing for what it's worth, you won't have enough money to get more clothing, to make more money, to diversify into hard goods and electronics, to take that money to grow even more. You have to make money to grow. And you're not just looking for money for thrifting. You're running a business. You have to have capital to reinvest. You have to be able to pay all of your overhead. And you eventually want to build. Some people build their business up in volume, which is what we did in the very beginning. And some people build up by the types of items they buy. Some people use clothing as a stepping stone to eventually have enough money to just go completely into electronics. And some people use clothing as a stepping stone to get more and better clothing as they get bigger and do a volume-based business. Both are very viable ways to run your business. But the bottom line is you have to make money to make money. You have to spend money to make money. And then you have to make that money to spend money to make money. And I think what a lot of people who come into this don't realize that it is a business. People come into this thinking, I'm just going to go to the thrift store and buy a couple things and make some money. And that's not what you're doing. You're not just making money to go thrifting. You're making money to run a business, to build up capital, to better your life and your business, period. Typically, most people, when they cross-post to Poshmark, just take their eBay price and knock it up 20-25%. But if you really wanted to comp on Poshmark, you would do it the same exact way that you do on eBay. Just look for the item, the brand, and look through the solds. So yeah. But I know a lot of people that cross-post from eBay to Poshmark don't even bother comping. They just knocked our prices up a lot. Or you can comp on Poshmark. Poshmark's a whole different world, though. So be careful when you're comping over there, because you have a lot of college kids selling on there, and they're selling stuff for beer money, basically. And then you have serious sellers who are selling, so you want to try to really price high over there towards the higher end. And also, I wanted to point out real quick, remember that even though more people are shopping online, more people are getting spoiled online. So people have Amazon Prime, people are getting shipping next day, people are being, Amazon caters to buyers, period. And a lot of people shop over on Amazon, and that's what we're competing with. So if you think you're going to have 2-day handling or 3-day handling, you're probably not going to do that well. You're best having same-day shipping or next day to compete, because people want their stuff fast. They're spoiled. This is what they're used to. And if you don't have same-day shipping, I would say same-day shipping, but next day would be okay too, I guess. People are going to overlook you. They're going to move on to the next seller, period. We don't do offer up. Part of the reason I left, a lot of people leave their old jobs because basically you're busting your butt to line the pockets of your boss and build their dreams. Well, at the end of the day, your 20% fees on Poshmark are actually less than eBay, because you have to add in the fees that you pay for PayPal. And if you're in there, if you're not in PayPal anymore, if you're on eBay's payment system, you're still paying an extra fee there. You have a store subscription fee, and you have promoted listings. So if you add in all the fees you're paying on eBay, you're actually paying less on Poshmark. So the 20% on Poshmark really isn't that much, because it's just a straight 20%. You don't have a store subscription. You're not paying fees on your payments or anything like that. And we mark everything up 25% on Poshmark, and we do fine. What you're probably not doing is sharing enough, staying active enough, or doing offers. Usually when people say they don't sell a lot on Poshmark, that's what I discover. No, we don't sell any clothing locally. Like sometimes if we have, the cell phones we do locally. But like sometimes, like if we find something really big at a thrift store, like a yard sale, like right now we have like a pinball machine we found that's sitting out in the hallway. We need to sell that locally, because it's so big. Stuff like that and cell phones. But clothing, we do all eBay, Poshmark. And when I want to get rid of it in big old lots, we do have a place we send kids clothing to. And then we have our wholesale business that we run with Casey, the Rockstar Flipper, and I can just sell through that if I need to. Yeah, there's also no returns on Poshmark. So you're not paying shipping to and fro and all that other good stuff. But do make sure that when you're shipping on Poshmark, eBay, any platform, ship it fast. That's what people want. Make sure you're doing all those best practices that I always talk about. Best offer. You should be doing free shipping on stuff that weighs less than a pound. You can just build it into your price. It's not really free. But the buyers think they're getting something for free, and that's what they want, and they're more likely to buy from you. Plus, having best offer and free returns gives you a boost in the searches. So that's pretty much all I want to talk about tonight, guys. I know that was a lot of stuff that a lot of people probably don't want to hear. They don't like to hear, but it's the truth, and it's how the world is. And if you don't change your mindset, you're not going to have a business much longer, period. So let's get into the fun part about our giveaways that we're going to be doing for our anniversary. So today, if you missed the beginning of the show, today exactly the 14th of January 2018 was when we dropped our first video on YouTube. Please don't go back and watch it. It's cringy. But today is exactly 2 years. And today we dropped our 2020 clothing guide. So we want to give 2 of those away. In appreciation for all of the support over the last 2 years from all of you on the channel and in our Facebook group. So I want to give 2 of these guides away for free. I will be doing 1 giveaway inside of the Facebook group. So you must be a member. It's free to join. It's a free Facebook group. But you got to be a member over there to participate in that giveaway. And then the second giveaway will be on Instagram. So you'll have to be following us on Instagram to participate in that. You can do both. If you want to double your chances at winning, you can do both. That's fine. I'm going to put the giveaways up tonight after the live show and let them run through Friday and pull my winners Friday night. If you don't want to wait till Friday for your guide, you guys, if you want to go ahead and get it now and then enter the contest, if you buy a guide from us and then you win a contest, we'll more than happily refund your money so that it's free for you as if you won. But if you want to enter the contest and you don't want to wait till Friday for the guide, you can go ahead and purchase it and we'll refund you if you win. Thank you, Roger. So feel free to enter both. Join the Facebook group. Link is in the description box. Maybe Bill and Dave will stick it in the chat for you guys. Instagram, we're at Flippin' Hippos. You can follow us over there. Keep your eyes out. It'll be like around 9 o'clock tonight. 8:30, 9 o'clock. Because after I get off here, I got to go to the bathroom and get a cough drop and some stuff before I put them up. But they'll be up. If you want to buy one now, I see Richard does. The link is in the box. It's the very first link in the description box for the new 2020 guide. Just to tell you what it has in it again. It has 145 plus brands and various types of new and used clothing. It gives you the sell-through rate, the average sell price, and the target buy price on each brand and type of clothing, used and new. And then it's color-coded green, yellow, red on how fast it will sell for you, so you can easily see when you're outsourcing if it's something that you want to even bother with, based on the average sell price and how fast it typically flips. All of this is like an average that we figured out through a lot of research. Took a lot of time, so we really did research it, guys. This is the updated one from 2019. So here's the thing. If you followed us last year and you purchased the 2019 guide, keep your eyes peeled for your emails. I'm going to be sending you guys a special code to update your 2019 to your 2020 guide at a discounted rate because you shouldn't have to buy a new guide every year. So if you bought a 2019, keep your eyes on your email. I'll be sending you guys a code tonight. You can update at a discount. If you're buying the 2020 guide for the first time, the link for that's down below. If you don't see an email from me and you want to update or upgrade, just hit us up at flippinhipposhelp@gmail.com and I'll get you guys your code. And if you haven't pulled the trigger on the Plush guide yet, the link for that is down below as well. And if you're a member of the group, we're offering members of the group a special discounted rate if you want to buy both guides together. So instead of $19.99 a piece, it'll be $29.99 for both guides. That will be posted up tonight as well when I do the contests. I need a drink of water. I think I really need to start eating cough drops during live shows because my throat just gets so dry. Oh, and one more super duper exciting thing that went out. We are doing a huge package grand prize giveaway for the 2-year anniversary. So this will be done on Instagram, but you'll have to follow us on Instagram, be a member of the group, and subscribe to us on YouTube. We'll ask that you do all 3, and you'll have to respond on Instagram. So follow us at flippinhippos.com and look out for both giveaways coming out tonight. But the huge grand prize winner will get a plush guide, a 2020 clothing guide, and a store review done by me. You'll get all 3. If you've ever purchased any of the 3, we'll just refund you if you win. Sound good? It's a lot of information, but just make sure you're in our Facebook group. Link is right there. Bill and David put it up. Thank you guys. Make sure you follow us at Instagram and just keep your eyes peeled. Look through the announcements in the group. Look through our posts on Instagram. You'll see all the contests coming out tonight, all the relevant information. And you can always email us or tag me in Facebook if you have any questions. Tag me in the group. I do tell you guys, I don't always see the messages from folks on Facebook. They hide them from you. So the best way is to tag me inside the group or send me an email. Best 2 ways to get a hold of me. And that's all I have. So Trina says seriously, but I'm not sure what. Oh, the ads should not be on the live shows. They should only be on the replays. I have it set that way, but who knows what YouTube is doing. I list everything best offer. I always have. It gives you a boost in the searches. You don't have to accept offers. But why not get a free boost? I also counter everything. I don't ever decline. If they offer me $1 on something that's up for $40, I go back with 36 and get a boost. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, Trina. I'm really sorry that keeps happening to you. The ads are only supposed to play during the replay. Like, if you start in on a live show, I think you have to watch one at the beginning to get into the live show, but I don't know. Yeah, there should be one at the beginning before you come in, but I don't. You know how I said to be nice to buyers and kind of just tell them that you don't do taxes? It's not your thing. That's kind of me saying, well, I don't run the ads. YouTube does that, so I don't know what to tell you. So anyway, that's all I've got for you guys. Again, it was a lot of information there at the end, but everything's in the box below to purchase. Everything will be in the group. Just keep an eye out on Instagram and in the group for all the giveaways. There's going to be 3 total. 2 on Instagram, 1 in the group. And discounts in the group for folks that are in there. And discounts through email for folks that already bought 2019. You don't. So with eBay acting so goofy, how do you know you're getting a boost? You really don't. But I can tell you the amount of times that somebody lowballed us that we countered on, that it then sold full price to somebody else almost immediately. That happens about 50% of the time. So that tells me that we're at least getting a boost. Because if we weren't getting a boost, then somebody else wouldn't see it. Does that make sense? Thank you, Meryl, so much. Thank you, Richard. Thanks, Kimberly. So thank you so much to the folks who gave us super chats tonight. Absolutely appreciate it. It really supports the channel and helps us with what we do here. Make sure you hit the thumbs up before you guys leave. It really helps the channel. And here's to another 2 years with you guys. You guys are the best. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. I was going to say follow us on our Facebook. Join our Facebook group. Follow us on Instagram at flippinhippos. Hit the thumbs up. Thank you again so much for the super chats. You guys are amazing. And to everyone else, thank you so much for joining us tonight and spending an hour with me on our anniversary. Thank you guys. I'll see you next time. Go be productive. Go make some money. Bye.